try and kick me out of the park. Well, I ain't going quiet, I'm saying it loud. My mission is to stop you and completely shut you down.
Smack, runner, you're nothing but lies. Smack, runner, with weak alibis. Smack, runner, your game is through. Smack, runner, I'm talking to you.
Is like the garbage that gets sent to the dump. You and your whole crew are nothing more than some chumps. It's time to take you out and kick you straight to the curb. My mission is to silence you and keep the game pure.
Smack, runner, you're nothing but lies. Smack, runner, with weak alibis. Smack, runner, your game is through. Smack, runner, I'm talking to you.
Your skills are weak and incomplete, it's really a joke to think you can get over me without getting smoked. It's time to shut you down and expose your game. My mission is to take you down and level the playing.
Smack, runner, you're nothing but lies. Smack, runner, with weak alibis. Smack, runner, your game is through. Smack, runner, I'm talking to you.
There will be no loyalty except loyalty to the party. But always there will be the intoxication of power. Always, at every moment, there will be the thrill of victory, the sensation of trampling on an enemy who is helpless. If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face. Forever.
Stand up, we shall not be moved, except by a child with no socks or shoes. If you got more to give than you've got to prove, put your hands up and I'll copy you. Stand up, we shall not be moved, except by a woman dying from a loss of food. And if you've got more to give than you've got to prove, put your hands up and I'll copy you. We still don't understand thunder and lightning. Flashback to when we didn't fund the damn levy. No wonder, man. Now our whole damn city's torn asunder, man. Underwater, but we still don't understand. We see hurricane spills overrun the land through gaps you couldn't fill with 100 tons of sand. No, we still don't understand. We've seen planes in the windows of buildings crumbled in. We've seen flames send the chills through London, and we've sent planes to kill them. Some of them are children, but still we crumble in the buildings. Underfunded, but we still don't understand. Under God, when we kill like the son of Sam. And if you feel like I feel about the son of man, we will overcome. So stand up, we shall not be moved, except by a child with no socks or shoes. If you've got more to give than you've got to prove, a cross for you. We shall not be moved, except by a system that's rotten through, neglecting the victims and ordering the cops to shoot. High treason, now we need to prosecute, so stand up, stand up. We shall not be moved, and we won't fight a war over fossil fuel. Times like this that you wanna plot to coup. Put your hands up and I'll copy you, so stand up, stand up. We shall not be moved, unless we're taking a route we have not pursued. So if you've got a dream and a lot to do, put your hands up and I'll copy you. I said put your hands up and I'll copy you. Put your hands up and I'll copy you. If you've got a dream and a lot to do, put your hands up. Now shake, shake, a Polaroid dream. Nightmare negatives develop on the screen. We sit back and wait on the government team. Criticize they, but who the fuck are we? People want peace, but the leaders want war. Neighbors don't speak, peek through the front door. House of Representatives breathe stays the course. Time for relief of faith once more. Put your hands up high if you haven't abandoned, and hope that the pen strokes stronger than the cannonballs to the wall. Nose to the grindstone. My interrogation techniques leave your mind blown. Places your best, let's speak to the enemy. Don't let them pretend that we seek blood. Yeah, who's we anyway? Kimo Sabe, mighty warlord, wanna be a street dog. Threat for a threat leaves the whole world terrified. Blow for blow never settles the score. Word for word, it's time to be clarified. We the people did not want war. Listen. So stand up, stand up. We shall not be moved, except by a child with no socks or shoes. If you've got more to give than you've got to prove, put your hands up and I'll copy you. So stand up, stand up. We shall not be moved, unless we're taking a route we have not pursued. So if you've got a dream and a lot to do, put your hands up and I'll copy you. I said put your hands up and I'll copy you. Put your hands up and I'll copy you. If you've got a dream and a lot to do, put your hands up.
The moral to be drawn from this dangerous nightmare situation is a simple one. Don't let it happen. It depends on you.
With a need to bleed you when the light goes green. Best believe I'm in the zone to be. From my yin to my yang to my yang to see. Put a grin on my chin. Come to me cause I'll win. I'm one of a kind and I'll bring death to the place you're about to be. Another river of blood running under my feet. Forged in a fire lit long ago. Stand next to me, you'll never stand alone. I'm last to leave, but the first to go. Hardcore is the only way I know. Free of the fear of the devil inside of the enemy faces in my sight. Aim with a hand, shoot with a mind, kill with a heart like Arctic ice. I am a devil dog, I'm marching on. I am a devil dog, I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. I am a warrior and this is my song. I'm back to the glory.
things for this great nation. We make Marines and we win battles.
Hurrah!
Never forget that. You're first Marines. And not all the communists in hell can overrun you.
Now I live late and I mean to inflict the grief, and the least of me is still out of your reach. The killing machine's gonna do the deed until the river runs dry and the last breath leaves. Head in the air with a head held high, I'll stand in the path of the enemy line. Feel no fear, know my pride. For God and country, I'll end your life. I am a devil dog, I'm marching on. I am a warrior and this is my song. Hell has no demon I won't overcome.
Never forget that.
I am a warrior and this is my song. I'll make the devil himself turn and run. I am a warrior and this is my song. Into the fire I will keep marching on. Hoorah! Marine Corps, it's up!
Take me to the brig so I can see the real Marines.
How you doing? What show are we on?
Truth is viral.
The truth is viral, people. So take 2 penicillins and call me in the morning.
Deep down in places you don't talk about at parties. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Keep this frequency clear.
And now it's conspiracy. See, they've made that something that should not be even entertained for a minute. That powerful people might get together and have a plan. Doesn't happen. You're a kook. You're a conspiracy buff.
You're watching The Truth is Viral, the only news program on the internet trusted to deliver the truth since 2008. And now, here's your host, Mr. Bobby Powell.
I'm going to start the recording now, so keep that in mind. But I do have the ability always to edit out whatever you don't want in there and whatnot. And of course I will alter your voices, yeah. So, how would you like me to introduce you? I was thinking about something like, that you have been a law enforcement professional for how many years?
I think it's about 27.
Okay, well, I'm going to say 30.
I'm retired.
Okay, I'm going to say 30. I'm going to say a 30-year law enforcement professional.
Okay, kids, this is what happens when I don't have anybody to help me. I'm literally doing the jobs of 4 different people all at the same time, and I was just playing a raw segment. Had no graphics, nothing. So we're going to find this little dude that we that we need right now, and I'm going to play this. It's unbelievable. The guy that threatened to, well, first he offered me $200,000 to lose the video that I had recorded on January 16th, or January 6th, that showed 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol on January 6th. And the police officer got in touch with me after he saw that. Police officer here in Michigan with 20 years experience, retired, and he told me of a plan by Bentivolio to kidnap a political opponent. He was trying to rope this police officer into carrying this out, getting together a squad of police officers, maybe former military, to kidnap this guy, a political opponent. And it's really unbelievable. And I'm going to find this here in just one second. And there it is. Okay, now where did I save this? Like I said, this is what happens when you only got one person doing the job before. Okay. Oh, that's what happened to it. It didn't go into the show folder. It went into my bumpers folder. Okay, no problem. I can fix that most tricky tick. I definitely need somebody to help me out here, kids. Got to hire somebody, I think. Stand by. I'll be right with you just a sec. All right. Nope. It's coming up with the same one. It's coming up with the same raw folder. I just saw it. And it won't show me. This is... Okay, the devil's getting on to me now. This is bad news. Try to find it manually instead of... I am so sorry. I don't mean to waste your time. I really don't. But we're going to get this out here in just one second. Tell you what. While I find this, a lot of you didn't see the show last Sunday night because, again, computer problems. I need a new computer, seriously. But I was on Stu Peters' show, and he great patriot. Man's got balls the size of basketballs. So I'm going to play that real quick, and we'll come back in the next segment with this interview with Congressman Bentivolio, or about Congressman Bentivolio, with a police whistleblower who says that the congressman tried to get him roped into a scheme to kidnap a political opponent. But right now, Mr. Stu Peters.
Bobby Powell is a true American patriot. Bobby Powell is one of the journalists who have completely blown open the lies about January 6th. The lies used to usher in full communism via Marxist coup d'etat. The lies used to overthrow the government and disenfranchise the American vote. The lies used to steal a presidency. The lies used to justify holding Trump supporters, political prisoners, subjecting them to torture and rape in a DC gulag. It's disgusting. And the lies that I have predicted will end with an indictment of 45. Bobby Powell was at the east entrance of the Capitol on January 6th. While he was there, he saw and recorded in high definition 2 men breaking windows and then standing near them to help push people inside. But despite playing what would appear to be a central role in the actual break-in, these 2 men haven't been arrested. They don't even appear on the list of suspects currently sought by the FBI. Why? Bobby was there the whole time. He recorded the whole thing. He gave the FBI 29 minutes of high-definition video more than a year ago. Within 10 days of January 6th, Bobby spoke with the FBI, with NCIS, the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and the Secret Service. But despite more than 770 indictments being filed in the past 15 months, these 2 men don't appear in a single one. Bobby knows, he's checked, so have we. Why? Not a single frame of Bobby's high-definition video that captured this break-in appears on the FBI's website asking for help identifying these Capitol intruders. Why? None of Bobby's work has appeared on the FBI's YouTube channel or its Facebook page. Why? In fact, according to Bobby, something very different, something very dark and very sinister has now happened. Last November, Bobby said that he declined an offer of first $100,000 and then $200,000 to keep his mouth shut. He says that Michigan Congressman Kerry Bentivolio met him for lunch at a rib shack in Bay City, Michigan, and delivered a message from Michigan GOP Chair Ron Weiser. That message, he says, was, "Stop talking about the video that you recorded on January 6th, or you will be killed." And that threat might have been very real. On the one-year anniversary of January 6th, Bobby spoke at a rally for imprisoned Green Beret Jeremy Brown in Pinellas County. That event was then targeted by left-wing extremist Garrett James Smith, but Smith wussed out at the last minute and fled, causing him to be caught with a pipe bomb. So to protect himself, Bobby is forced to go public with absolutely everything. He has tried to reach out to everybody. He has tried to display this video for the world to see, to keep himself safe until the whole truth comes out. And we will not keep him silent, which is why we're happy that he's here with us now. Bobby joins us. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, Stu. You know, I really appreciate the work you're doing. That interview that you had with Dr. Artis last week was epic. I met him at Patriot Network Summit in North Carolina last year. He's a really good guy.
He's a brave man.
Very smart and dedicated to what he does.
Yeah.
So, I've been going all over the country, you know, putting thumb drives physically into the hands of United States congressmen and senators. I went to CPAC a couple of months ago, and I gave the video to Jack Posobiec. I gave it to Kash Patel. I gave it to a former acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. I gave it to Sebastian Gorka. Let me tell you something about Sebastian Gorka. I gave him this video over a year ago. I called into one of his podcasts, and I told him it existed, and he said, "Let me look into it." Then I ran into him again at CPAC. I physically put a thumb drive and a 3-page written narrative of everything that's gone on over the last 15 months into his hands. And I went on Twitter, and I tagged him in it, and I said, "Hey, how did you like that video?" And he blocked me.
Sebastian Gorka is a traitor.
Let me tell you something. The deep state exists, and it is composed of people on both the left and the right. If Kerry Bentivolio and the chairman of the Michigan Republican Party were truly Trumpers, then they would have done something with this video. They would have given it to President Trump, and he could have amplified it beyond anything, but they refused. And in fact, they tried, as you said, they tried to offer me $200,000 to shut my mouth, and when I told him to go jump in a lake, he said, "Well, you're going to be killed." And then just 6 weeks later, somebody actually made an attempt.
So, Bobby, I mean, it's not a stretch for me to conclude that the government tried to kill you because you have evidence against it.
Well, yeah, and, you know, it's really funny because the FBI has interviewed everybody that was within a mile of the Capitol on January 6th, except for me. And the only thing that I can think of is that, you know, they don't want to hear from me. I've contacted them 4 times. I've sent them emails. I've called them. And the last phone call just last week, I guess that would be contact attempt number 5. They hung up on me. I've got that recorded. As soon as we get done with this, I'll send it to you. It's going to blow your mind, bro.
So you have evidence of crimes that the government is labeling as sedition, overthrowing a government, that they are indicting people who took selfies inside the Capitol building after being ushered in by cops. These people are being indicted. You have evidence to bring forth of the real criminals that are responsible for attempting to actually physically harm or damage property or hurt people or who knows, kill them, whatever their motives were. And the FBI is hanging up the phone on you. Law enforcement is turning you away. Do you know why? It's because they are the suspects. That's why.
Exactly. You know, people ask, why hasn't Bobby Powell been arrested? I'll tell you exactly why. Because in order to seek a warrant for my arrest, the FBI would have to put my video in front of a federal judge.
That's right.
And that video shows me defending a window that one of their operatives had just pulled out of its frame moments before. And the judge is going to say, well, hey, I see Bobby Powell doing the right thing. Who in the hell is this guy all dressed in black that the FBI has never put up on their website? You know, they're putting up all kinds of fuzzy images of people milling around outside the Capitol, not particularly doing anything destructive, but they won't touch the video, the high definition video I recorded, stable video from 5 feet away from this guy. Okay, they won't touch it. They don't want to have anything to do with it. I've offered to come in and give them all of my video from the 5th, 6th, and 7th. They just refuse to return my phone calls. So you know, that I've been a journalist for 36 years, man. So I've sent thousands of FOIA requests to government agencies at all levels, you know, local, county, state, federal. They always respond. They're required to respond by law. This is the first time in my entire career, almost 4 decades, that I have not received a reply from a government agency when I've requested one.
That's because you're not sending a FOIA request to a government agency. You're sending a FOIA request to criminals and Marxists who effected a coup in this country and who probably don't even really know who's in power, actually. To be honest with you, they are imposters who have taken over this country to usher in full communism and the World Economic Forum's Great Reset. All combined, by the way, and centered at all of this is this COVID-19 pandemic and then the bioweapon rushed out to try to kill a whole bunch of people. This is insanity. So while you've been talking, we have been playing some of your footage. And what we're going to do is, although we don't have the platform the size of President Trump's, we do have a rather large platform. And we're going to put out this video in its entirety. The American people deserve to see what actually occurred on the 6th of January. And you have now been threatened with your life. Somebody has attempted to literally blow you up and wipe your existence off the face of planet Earth and send you to heaven prematurely before your job is done here. For God, the work that you're doing. As a patriot.
Yeah, well, that's okay. They can threaten my life. They can try to take my life. It's like threatening me with a good time, man, because I know where I'm going.
That's exactly
and I know where they're going, too. They're going to burn every last one of them. If they don't face justice in this life, they've got to stand tall before the man and tell him exactly why they did what they did. And they've got no excuse.
Bobby Powell, you are a brave person, and we're going to put this video out in its entirety. We thank you for your service to our country. Seriously, God bless you.
God bless you, too. And let me say one thing before we go.
Please.
The most important thing that I need right now is for everybody that's watching this Stu Peters show right now to share it. Go to bobbypowell.substack.com, share the articles that you find there with the video, because I have been completely banned from the internet. I mean, how many times before the other day have you gotten an email from me?
Never.
I've sent you 4.
Wow.
Over the last 6 months. If I mention January 6th in any of my emails, they do not get where they're going. The only reason I was able to get in contact with you was because somebody that had been on your show previously, forwarded my name to you. And then you got in contact with me. So the most important thing that anybody can do is to share these videos. Go to bobbypowell.substack.com and share the hell out of them. And, don't just do it once, kids. This is not a one and done thing. You have to do it over and over and over again in every Facebook page that you've got, every group, every forum. It doesn't matter. Any place that you have a presence on the internet, it has to be shared over and over and over again. We have to shove this truth down their throats until they choke on it.
I agree, 1,000%. And what pisses me off the most is that this has not been seen on any other alternative so-called conservative media outlet. Of course, it hasn't been touched by the communist propaganda arm of this whole cabal, by the mainstream media at all. They're going to try to suppress this thing completely. We will put it out because we are the platform of truth. Why? Because I am pissed off about what's happening in this country. And I'm going to use this platform as a weapon and be the tip of the spear until they come and get me. And they're listening in on my phone calls, and they're checking on my emails, and they're preventing stuff from getting through to this show, and they're shutting down people like Bobby Powell. You don't have to listen to my phone calls because I say it all right here. I've got absolutely nothing to hide. I love God first, and I love this country second. And by the way, speaking of righteous indignation, this Grant Stinchfield fellow over at Newsmax told some scheduler over at Candace Taylor's campaign for gubernatorial campaign for Georgia governor that Stu Peters was, what would he call me? An angry spirited person. No, you know what? I'm not an angry spirited person or that's what he called me, a mean spirited person. No, I'm not. I'm pissed off about what's happening in this country. And my question is, why is Grant Stinchfield not pissed off about what's happening in this country? Why is Steve Bannon not pissed off about what's happening in this country? Where are all of these so-called patriot fighters? More of the Stu Peters Show, and more fighting continues in 60 seconds. Go nowhere.
Okay, so I'm having to re-render that entire segment. It just disappeared. I have looked and looked and looked. I cannot find it. And I went to re-render it, and it says, do you want to overwrite the previous file? Overwrite what? I can't find it. So, who knows? I don't know. But you know what? I do know. The Gateway Pundit yesterday put out a call from President Trump's lawyer for anybody that has January 6th footage to send it to him. So I did. That was the first thing I did yesterday morning. And this is what the president gets to see. So I'll give you the quick and dirty so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. On January 6th, just about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I went up the Capitol steps following a crowd, and as soon as I got up there, I recorded a young man by the name of Hunter Imke from Glendora, California, breaking a door or a window in a Senate office. You're watching that video now. Capitol Hill police arrested Imke, which they absolutely should have, and then they let him go. They took his driver's license and told him to get out of there, which is exactly what they did. Then they stood around for about 10-15 minutes in front of that window, making sure that nobody else was going to go in, because the crowd was saying, we're going to go in there. You just heard it when they were arresting Imke. We're going to go in there. You can't stop us from going in there.
It's only a matter of time and we're all going through there. We're going in.
That's what they said. So they're standing there in front of the window, and a radio transmission comes over their air, and the person on the other end asks, how many officers do you have deployed? And this fellow on the very right, wearing a blue mask, told them 8. They had 8 officers deployed to protect that window. I went up to that officer and I told him, there are 9 defenders here. I told him, I am a United States Marine. Nobody is going into the Capitol through a broken window on my watch. If you need help, I'm there for you, brother. Imagine my surprise when I hear another radio transmission. This one ordering them to displace from that window, leaving it completely undefended. That's what caused me to turn my camera on. I would have had it rolling the whole time, but I'd lost a camera earlier on the second flight of stairs going up the east side of the Capitol, and it was later picked up by a Capitol Hill police officer. That's a whole other story we'll get into later. But this important part right here is that these officers were ordered to leave that broken window undefended. So I'm standing there picking up glass for souvenirs. You know, this I didn't know what was going on, but I wanted some something to take home as a souvenir. So I was picking up glass, And this fella that had come up the steps with me, dressed all in black, with a military radio, wearing a balaclava over his face, he's asking me, why don't you guys open up the rest of the window and go inside? So I replied, well, that'd probably be illegal.
Why don't you guys open up the rest of it?
Because I think that'd probably be illegal.
Oh, I know my glasses. I got my...
I'm just picking up garbage.
So I go back to picking up the glass, putting it in my pocket, and then I hear the loud crunching from behind me. And I swing my camera around just in time to catch this man pulling that broken window entirely from its frame. He steps aside to let people go into the Capitol through that Senate office building. A young man by the, well, I'm not going to say his name because he asked me not to, but I have, his name's Gavin, I'm not going to say his last name, but he rushed in towards the window. I thought he was going to go inside, so I moved to intercept.
Do not go in there!
Okay, so mystery man in black, I'm going to call him undercover number 1. Now he sees my camera. And the fact that I'm wearing a press helmet, he realizes that his actions are being recorded. So he does a complete 180. Instead of allowing people to go inside the window, facilitating their entry by pulling the window from its frame, undercover number 1 starts fighting with Gavin. And he's gaslighting him, saying, why are you breaking that window? Gavin was 15 feet away when this guy was pulling the window out. But he didn't know how long I'd been recording. So basically, he's covering his own ass, right? And, you know, as soon as he gets done fighting with Gavin, this guy melts off into the crowd, never to be seen again. A few minutes later, I'm over at the east entrance doors where a crowd is trying to go inside, and I'm taking video. And I'm standing just outside the doors when I feel hands on my back. And a man in my left ear yelling, hold the line, hold the line, hold the line. He's pushing me towards the Capitol doors.
Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line!
Just before I get inside, being forced inside, mind you, Capitol Hill police unleash a barrage of pepper spray. Moves the whole crowd back, forces me out. I'm blind now. I can't see a doggone thing. But I turn around and my camera catches this guy holding the door open with a baton and, you know, pushing people inside. Ford Fisher, another independent journalist who he's the editor-in-chief of News to Share, received some footage by a videographer by the name of Paul Mulholland, who caught this guy from the other angle. I want you to check that out.
Oh, sorry. That's the people we still got on the lawn. Everybody on the lawn, please.
that footage is much more clear. You can get a really good look at this guy's profile, right? And my favorite part of Mulholland's footage is when undercover number 2, the guy in the brown wearing a brown balaclava with the military radio, he gets hit in the face with a pepper ball. And that's the end of him. I hope it hurt. I really do. Scumbag. So, ever since I got that footage, I've been receiving tremendous pushback from everybody. Nobody wants to know anything about it, right? Well, I'm a United States Marine. I have the tenacity of a devil dog with a stake. And I'm doing everything that I can, working 16, 18 hours a day, emailing everybody that I can think of. Everybody in media, politicians, sending them private messages on Facebook. I'm getting zero joy, right? No responses whatsoever. Like I said, they either didn't believe it, because it really is incredible, or they want to keep it suppressed. Well, I found a way around their censorship. I've been attaching read receipts to my emails last 6 months. None of them are getting through. But I found a way around it. And I was able to get on One American News with Dan Ball. And in October, 1st of October, I was on Greg Kelly's show on Newsmax. The day after Greg Kelly's show, where I presented this footage in front of millions of people, PayPal suspended my account. And that's another theme that's been going on. February 2nd, Google and YouTube demonetized me. Twitter deleted my account 5 minutes after I sent footage to the Capitol Hill police asking who these guys were. So, I also on the 15th, I informed the FBI of what I had recorded. I sent them 29 minutes of high-definition footage. As of today, February 11th, 2022, more than 13 months later, neither of these men have been arrested. They don't appear in any of the 720 plus indictments. I've checked all of them. There's no video of these guys on the FBI website. There's no video of them on the FBI's YouTube channel. There are no pictures of them on the FBI's website or on Facebook, where they're asking people, who are these people that were at the Capitol on January 6th? So, and my repeated phone calls and emails to the FBI have gone unanswered. That is unprecedented. I graduated from journalism school in 1986. I have sent thousands of letters back in the day, emails, made hundreds of phone calls to government agencies of all sizes, from local, county, state, federal. It doesn't make any difference. They are always returned. Always. It's a law. Okay? But as of today, February 11th, 2022, I have yet to receive any kind of love from the FBI at all. Not a phone call, not a reply to any of my emails, nothing. They don't want to hear about it. I even offered to come in and give them a statement and all of the video that I shot on the 5th, 6th, and 7th. The only caveat was I wanted to bring my lawyer with me. They didn't respond to that offer either. They've arrested or talked to everybody that was within a mile of the Capitol on January 6th, except for me. And Gavin, the guy that was fighting with the undercover agent. He hasn't been contacted by the FBI either. Kind of strange, no? I mean, he was right there in the thick of it. We both were. You'd think they would at least want to talk to us. And it's not like I've been avoiding them. Like I said, I've sent them at least 3 emails offering to come in and give them a statement. Okay, so I tell them, I'll be happy to come in and let you have anything you want. You want video? I got it. You want pictures? I got them. You want my statement? Be happy to give it to you. Again, nothing. Absolute silence from the FBI.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
So here we get to November 20th, 2021. And another friend of mine, Kerry Bentivolio, former United States Congressman from the state of Michigan, tells me he wants to talk to me. So let's go over this conversation with Kerry Bentivolio from my Facebook Messenger. I had contacted Kerry and I asked him, do you have any direct contact information for the Trump team? Anyone at all? Kerry replies, no. I'm shut out by the Michon. He's referring to Michon Maddock. Rabid never Trumper, who blocked me on Facebook a long time ago because I had asked her if she could help me get to the Trump team, show them my video. She absolutely refused, and then she blocked me. So I told Kerry I'm half tempted to go to Mar-a-Lago and wait till he goes golfing, speaking of President Trump, and fly a drone with a thumb drive attached right to him. I told him, I'm getting frustrated, Kerry. So many powerful people I know have the video, yet it's not being talked about by anyone. I asked him, any idea what gives? He says, yes. I wish we could have met up. I reply, we both still live in Michigan, right? There's a network that wants me to do an in-studio interview sometime in the near future. Their studio is near Toledo, which is a long drive from Alpena. I wouldn't mind dropping back by on my way and shoot the breeze. He gives me a thumbs up and he says, Bay City's halfway. I said, yep. I have a question that you might be able to help me with, considering the people that you know. I've been told that my life is in danger. Is it, to the best of your knowledge? Kerry replies, no. And then I ask, am I being protected? To which he says, we should meet. I told him, I think so. A lot of weird stuff going on up here. Might not wait until the interview. Are you busy tomorrow? I can be in Bay City for a late lunch. Kerry says, yes, I dropped the grandkids off to church at 10 a.m. I told him, I'll text you when I'm on my way. Have a good night, brother. He gives me a thumbs up and then tells me where to meet him. Meaty's Roadhouse, Barbecue and Sausage Shack in Bay City. And you guys know how I love my meat. I love that nasty pig, right? So I asked him, is noon good? And he says, yeah. I said, I'll see you there. He apparently carries in the mood for ribs, too. And by the way, they've got great ribs, okay, if you want to go in there and get some ribs. On the 21st at 10:10 in the morning, he says he's leaving with one stop. Takes him an hour and a half to get there. I told him I'm leaving with no stops. I'll be there at 12:30. He says it's an out-of-the-way place in a residential area. Go back through the store. And I asked him, Brandon Hall wants to write a story about my video and experiences since January 6th. Do you think he'll do right by it? Brandon Hall is the editor-in-chief of West Michigan Politics. Said he wants to put my story on his site with additional commentary from me in response to whatever questions he might have. Nothing to do with you at all. So Kerry gives me a thumbs up, and I said to you, I just wondered if you knew him. Is he a straight shooter? Kerry says yes. Give him a thumbs up. Then he says something that is so ironic, considering the circumstances. Never trust anyone in politics. They shift like the wind. Talk about prescient. Foreshadowing, foretelling. Never trust anyone in politics. So, I meet Kerry at the Rib Shack in Bay City. And after our initial pleasantries, we sit down, order our lunch and whatnot. Kerry asks me, Bobby, what would it take to get you to stop talking about your January 6th video? I said, well, why would I do that? And he tells me because Ron Weiser wants you to. You know who he is, right? And I said, well, yeah, he's the chairman of the Michigan GOP. Why would he want me to stop talking about this? Kerry says, how about $100,000? I kind of laugh a little bit. Are you serious? No. He says, Congressman Bentivolio says, how about $200,000? Okay, now, I'm starting to get the idea that he's serious. And I say, look, Kerry, you go back and you tell Ron Weiser that he does not have enough money to buy my honor or my silence. You tell Ron Weiser that if he wants me to stop talking about my video, he's going to have to kill me. And Kerry Bentivolio, former congressman from the state of Michigan, told me that could be arranged. Now, I don't know whether that was a threat or a warning. I can't read the man's mind. What I can tell you is exactly what he said. And I just did. So I'm kind of freaked out a little bit right about now. And I say, well, this is, pretty wild, Kerry. I said, are you serious? He says, yeah, do you really think my life's in danger? And then Kerry backpedals a little bit. He says, nah, you're not that important. So I'm important enough to offer $200,000 to shut my mouth, but not important enough to kill over? Six weeks later, back up just a second. I had to sell my house because without the revenue stream from ad revenue and donations that were coming in through PayPal, I couldn't afford it anymore. So I sold my house. It was supposed to close end of December. I couldn't get it closed fast enough. I really did want to get out of Michigan. I don't have a death wish. But I bought a truck and a fifth wheel with the proceeds from my house. And as soon as I could, I beat feet down to Florida. First thing that I did on December 8th, I took a video or a thumb drive with my video on it, along with a written narrative of everything that's happened to me since January 6th of last year to Governor DeSantis' office. I got all dressed up and everything. My first new suit
in like 30 years. Got to look good if you're going to hang with the hoi oligoi, right? The rich folks, the fancy folks. Can't go in there wearing Walmart shorts and t-shirts, right? They need to take me seriously, because this is serious. Hand to God, I am telling you the honest truth. I am not lying. Everything that you're going to hear on this show tonight is 100% true. God strike me dead if it's not. So I give this information to Governor DeSantis and his aides anyway. And as of today, February 11th, 2022, I have not been contacted by him. So I don't know what's up with that. All I know is that, to the best of my knowledge, I'm on my own. 6 weeks after Kerry delivered this warning or threat or whatever it was on behalf of Ron Weiser, the chairman of the Michigan GOP, I'm giving a speech at a rally in front of the Pinellas County Jail for Jeremy Brown. I'm showing them my footage that shows 2 undercover agents physically attacking the United States Capitol on January 6, 2021. While I'm speaking, sheriff's deputies arrest a man by the name of Garrett James Smith, 22, from a neighboring town.
So what is all this about suspicious devices? Cops are saying that there are suspicious devices here. We find some of these suspicious devices.
We got to go over to conservative grounds. I don't know if we're okay with it, but let's bring around every point over to conservative grounds.
What's about? There's a suspicious
We'll
device.
continue the rest of this at conservative grounds.
Sorry. So, what is exactly going on?
There is a device in the area.
Oh, really?
A suspicious device.
And who reported this?
A supervisor.
Explosives and homemade grenades stuffed with nails, all found in the backpack and home of the 22-year-old man named Garrett Smith, arrested near this January 6th protest outside the Pinellas County Courthouse last night. This is Nightside. I'm Carolina Lee. The protest was in support of a man arrested and accused of participating in the insurrection. But as 10 Tampa Bay's Miguel Octavio explains, detectives are still trying to figure out Smith's motive.
Yeah, it could have been very destructive, and he could have hurt a lot of people.
It was his 22nd birthday, and investigators say Garrett James Smith spent it carrying a backpack with an explosive device near this crowd of protesters outside the Pinellas County Courthouse. They don't know why.
Smith has no criminal history, no social media accounts that we can find, and there's no prior intelligence information about Smith.
And deputies say Smith isn't talking. Dressed in all black, Smith was across the street from the crowd. Deputies don't know why Smith held back.
We're fortunate in this situation that something caused Smith to flee before he ignited the explosive device, and the deputies were able to apprehend him.
Detectives say a search of Smith's home turned up 4 devices that looked like grenades. Each was packed with nails. Deputies also found a note titled Direct Action Checklist. It was a list of equipment like a gas mask, duct tape, and handcuffs. No one was injured, but Sheriff Gualtieri said Smith is the kind of person that worries law enforcement. He had no history of problems, made no threats on social media, and seemed to come from nowhere.
There's no opportunity to intervene and thwart their criminal activity until they actually act.
Deputies say Smith also spent time in Portland. Officers say he had a helmet with symbols from a group that staged protests there. Pinellas detectives are still trying to determine if Smith had any connections to that group and what his motive was. He is not cooperating with investigators. Smith is being held in jail on $300,000 bond.
He's a member of Antifa. Sheriff Bob Gualtieri says that he had been to Portland for terrorist training to become what the sheriff called a sleeper cell. This kid lost his nerve at the last second and did not throw the nail-studded, wire-wrapped pipe bomb that he had brought to murder me and maim or kill 100 other people. He's sitting in the Pinellas County jail at this minute with a $300,000 bond. That's kind of unnerving to know that at any minute somebody might try to take my life because of what I recorded on January 6th. 6 weeks between a death threat from the chairman of the Michigan Republican Party and an actual assassination attempt is too much of a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. That boy was sent there to kill me. He's a throwaway asset, what the government calls a kite. Somebody that they can use and then sever ties with. Just like you're cutting a kite string. Whoosh, it's gone. So that's where we are with Congressman Kerry Bentivolio and Ron Weiser, the chairman of the Michigan Republican Party, and a heavy-duty fundraiser, too. This man has got deep pockets, access to a lot of money. And now I'm in Florida, in my fifth wheel, moving around every couple of days. So anybody that might be after me is going to have a pretty hard time trying to find me. Do you have any idea how many mobile homes and fifth wheels there are down here? Especially in the wintertime. Everybody wants to be in Florida. It's hell trying to find a spot in a campground. So I'm boondocking it quite a lot. I learned that term recently, boondocking. That's where you just go to somebody's house and set your trailer in their lawn for a night or two, or go to Walmart for a night and sleep there. So that's all I got to say right now about Congressman Bentivolio and Chairman of the Michigan Republican Party, Ron Weiser, because that's all I know. In just a minute, I'm going to come back and I'm going to take care of a special piece of business. A real special shitbird. My best friend, Peter Thomas Santilli. A man that I know now to be an FBI operative. Not just an informant. He's got a job to do. And he's being well paid by the FBI to do it. I'll be right back.
I'm Pete. Okay, so yeah, Pete Santilli is still a federal operative. Don't forget that, kids. Like I said, I'm having to move around every now and then. And with gas the way it is, it's costing me $100 to $125 every time I fill up my tank. And my my vehicle, when I'm pulling my fifth wheel behind it, gets like 8 miles to the gallon. So if you have the ability, please go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell and donate a couple of bucks, whatever won't put you out, so that I can continue on this mission to bring the truth to the mainstream. Everybody is standing in my way. I have given this thumb drive, I have physically placed it in the hands of 15 United States congressmen and senators. I've given it to Kash Patel. I've given it to Sebastian Gorka. The funny thing about Sebastian Gorka, I gave it to him on one of his podcasts over a year ago. He says he'd look into it. Well, I met him again at CPAC, handed him a thumb drive right in his hot little hook, and I told him that, well, you know, I told him everything that happened. And then after CPAC, I went on Twitter to my now deleted secret account, and I tagged him in it, and the bastard blocked me. He's definitely not MAGA. Sebastian Gorka is as deep state as they come. I have a little bit of hope that former Attorney General Matthew Whitaker will do something about it. Maybe Senator Hawley. I gave them both my video. But, you know, it's been 2 months since CPAC, and nobody has called me. I think this might be just a hot potato that nobody wants to touch. Thank God that the Gateway Pundit article came out with Trump's lawyer looking for this footage. I gave them my entire Dropbox. By the way, if you go out down into the video description, you will find a link to that Dropbox. And I waive copyright for anybody, any individual that wants to take that video and upload it to their own channels. Do with it what you will. I don't care about getting paid. I threw away $200,000 because money is not important to me. If I have a roof over my head and something to eat, a little bit of gas in my tank, I'm happy. You know? What more can you want? This is a holy mission. To bring the truth to the populace. Our country was attacked by seditious communists inside of our own government. And that can't be allowed to happen. They can't get away with this. So I'm going to enlist each and every one of you right now to take my videos, go to my Substack, and subscribe to that too. It's only $5 a month. And you'll get exclusive content that you don't see anywhere else. And it'll help me out too. But, you know, take my videos from Substack. You just particularly take the article from Substack because it's got both the Rumble links and the YouTube links. So that if my YouTube channel does happen to disappear one morning, I wake up and it's gone. I'm waiting for that any moment. Then you'll still be able to watch the show on Rumble. And so make sure that you subscribe to my Rumble channel too. And this video with the law enforcement officer who is accusing Congressman Bentivolio of attempting to rope him into a scheme to kidnap a political opponent during a debate. It's almost done rendering. It says like 5 minutes. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I had this all set up, but the tech gods are not favoring me today. And while that's going, or while we're waiting for that, I'm going to show you a short little video from a group of January 6th defendants. They run a website called stophate.com, and they made the connection that the man who was in charge of the FBI's totally screwed up plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer. You know, more than half of the people involved in that plot were federal agents. Well, he got a promotion, and they sent him to Washington, D.C. just in time for January 6th. He's now the head of the D.C. office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, an organization that named its headquarters after a sexual deviant, guy that liked to wear dresses and prance around, who illegally collected information on American citizens and then used it to blackmail them. So I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. If you're the FBI agent that is unlucky enough to be assigned to watch my show, what in the hell are you doing? Do you have no honor at all? You should quit. And if you're doing this willingly, you're going to lose. Because the truth is going to come out. You're a member of a seditious organization, a criminal organization. And if you're not doing the right thing, then you should just take your service weapon and put it in your mouth and blow your damned head off. That's what good you are. So here's that little short from stophate.com. It's pretty impressive, actually. They do great work. Check it out.
As Americans are forced to grapple with the brutal reality that the FBI were the only ones conspiring to kidnap the sitting governor of Michigan in 2020, details emerging from the lingering smoke of January 6th are also becoming impossible to ignore. The Department of Justice is still seemingly without answers for the American people, even though it's been 16 months since 2 pipe bombs were discovered on Capitol Hill on January 6th, prompting the evacuation of 2 congressional buildings, the Cannon House Office Building and parts of the Library of Congress. During a joint hearing before the Senate Rules Committee and Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee in February of 2021, former Capitol Police Chief Stephen Sund confirmed that the pipe bombs were the reason for the evacuation. Nevertheless, the Department of Justice and its Mockingbird media continue to push the outright lie that Congress was evacuated on January 6th because of the mass of people who'd gathered outside the Capitol building to protest what they believed to be a fraudulent election. Even after offering a $50,000 reward and plastering ominous-looking photos across the country, the FBI has so far been incapable of identifying a suspect, and yet the very same FBI had no problem hunting down and raiding the homes of peaceful Americans present in D.C. on January 6th. Carolyn Younger, the inconspicuously described D.C. resident, first discovered the pipe bomb and alerted authorities. According to Younger, she just so happened to be at the right place at the right time, digging around behind dumpsters on her way back from doing laundry. Because doesn't everyone dumpster dive on laundry day?
Well, you don't want to go down as the person who evacuates a city block for a hoax.
Younger said in an interview with WISN 12 News in Milwaukee.
But at the same time, there was just enough of that gut instinct that said, this isn't a place that you put a hoax.
At the time, Younger was also a project manager for FirstNet Authority, a public-private partnership between AT&T and first responders to prioritize emergency communications during an attack or disaster. On December 8, 2020, the FBI awarded FirstNet Authority with a $92 million contract. The 5-year deal represented the largest commitment by a law enforcement or public safety agency in the entire history of FirstNet. In an interview with Madison Magazine on January 12th, Younger explained how some of her previous experience came in handy on January 6th. Even though I'd done some counterterrorism analysis a decade ago, she said, what helped me recognize the device was a scene from the Terminator movie.
Hasta la vista.
Nothing to see here, baby. On October 13th, 2020, Stephen M. D'Antuono, a man with a proven history of formulating domestic false flag terror operations, was named Assistant Director in charge of the Washington Field Office by FBI Director Christopher Wray. The appointment came days after 2 innocent Americans were entrapped within his Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping hoax. Surely it's just a coincidence that D'Antuono was given a coveted position in D.C. mere months before the worst attack on America's constitutional republic since the War of 1812? In the world of counterterrorism, coincidence is becoming even more commonplace. Another crazy coincidence is the story that Michigan GOP Chair Ron Weiser, through former Michigan Congressman Kerry Bentivolio, offered Bobby Powell, a J6 journalist, $200,000 in exchange for suppressing his footage of the Capitol agitators. Powell's recording captured the yet-to-be-identified individuals with face coverings and communications equipment as they pulled windows out of the west side of the Capitol building. He refused the $200,000 bribe framed as an offer in the spirit of the Godfather's Don Corleone.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Powell said he was told to stop talking about the video you recorded in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, or you could be killed. Just 6 weeks later, on January 6, 2022, Garrett James Smith packed his backpack with what the Pinellas County bomb squad would later describe as a nail-studded pipe bomb, along with a ski mask, and headed to a rally where Bobby Powell would be speaking for imprisoned January 6er Green Beret Jeremy Brown. Detained unconstitutionally, Brown, who never entered the Capitol building, was arrested on misdemeanor trespass after refusing to work as an FBI informant. A Apparently spooked by law enforcement, Smith ran but was chased down and arrested by Pinellas County Sheriff's officers before he could detonate his device. On February 16th, 1 week after the FBI took over the investigation, felony charges against Smith were dropped when the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives determined the items he possessed that day were legal novelty devices. Smith is now a free man, along with the spooky-looking rioters in Bobby Powell's video and the oh-so-hard to track down pipe bomber from Capitol Hill, with Jeremy Brown and 774 other defendants from J6 having been arrested and reported 2,000 to 3,000 more arrests coming. The Department of Justice is asking for an additional $34 million and 130 new personnel to handle the unreal workload they've created for themselves. As long as the likes of Christopher Wray, Stephen D. Antuono, and others are planning the next entrapment extravaganza from the helm of the FBI, their job security is looking better than ever. But if you think things are looking good now, just wait until they cut a bigger deal with Skynet, FirstNet, whatever.
Check this out. The video rendered. When the video is done rendering, it pops up the folder that it's in, so I can see it's there. It's there. I use my broadcasting software to select it as the next clip to come up, and I can't find it. So I just thought, well, maybe I could try something else. So I copied it from one folder to another, and voila, there it is. And now you're going to hear the testimony, the statement of a former, well, he's not a former anything. He's a retired law enforcement officer, 20 years behind the badge, who says that Congressman Bentivolio tried to rope him into a scheme to kidnap a political opponent. Here it goes.
As Americans are forced to grapple with the brutal reality that the FBI were the only ones conspiring to kidnap the sitting.
Welcome back to The Truth is Viral, kids. My name is Bob Powell, and tonight you are going to hear an explosive interview. A law enforcement professional, retired, with over 20 years experience behind the badge, got in touch with me after he saw my show that detailed how Congressman Kerry Bentivolio had offered me $200,000 on behalf of Michigan GOP Chair Ron Weiser to lose my footage, and then threatened my life when I told him to go jump in the lake. Actually, I put it a little bit more marine-like, but I'm trying to keep this a family-friendly show. But anyway, 6 weeks after that threat, a man by the name of Garrett James Smith brought a pipe bomb to a rally in Clearwater while I was speaking. And Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies arrested him, charged him with possession of a destructive device, and loitering, of all things, and put him in a Pinellas County jail with a bond of $300,000.
Explosives and homemade grenades stuffed with nails, all found in the backpack and home of the 22-year-old man named Garrett Smith, arrested near this January 6th protest outside the Pinellas County courthouse last night. This is Nightside. I'm Carolina Lee. The protest was in support of a man arrested and accused of participating in the insurrection. But as 10 Tampa Bay's Miguel Octavio explains, detectives are still trying to figure out Smith's motive.
Yeah, it could have been very destructive, and he could have hurt a lot of people.
It was his 22nd birthday, and investigators say Garrett James Smith spent it carrying a backpack with an explosive device near this crowd of protesters outside the Pinellas County courthouse. They don't know why.
Smith has no criminal history, no social media accounts that we can find, and there's no prior intelligence information about Smith.
And deputies say Smith isn't talking. Dressed in all black, Smith was across the street from the crowd. Deputies don't know why Smith held back.
We're fortunate in this situation that something caused Smith to flee before he ignited the explosive device, and the deputies were able to apprehend him.
Detectives say a search of Smith's home turned up 4 devices that looked like grenades. Each was packed with nails. Deputies also found a note titled Direct Action Checklist. It was a list of equipment like a gas mask, duct tape, and handcuffs.
The more I think about it and the more it weighs on me, the less I'm shocked, because of where we are in this country. And
Representative Anthony Sabatini was the keynote speaker at Thursday's peaceful protests outside the courthouse.
you just never know what's going to happen. But, I'm just very grateful for law enforcement.
No one was injured, but Sheriff Gualtieri said Smith is the kind of person that worries law enforcement. He had no history of problems, made no threats on social media, and seemed to come from nowhere.
There's no opportunity to intervene and thwart their criminal activity until they actually act.
Deputies say Smith also spent time in Portland. Officers say he had a helmet with symbols from a group that staged protests there. Pinellas detectives are still trying to determine if Smith had any connections to that group and what his motive was. He is not cooperating with investigators. Smith is being held in jail on $300,000 bond.
Until the next week when the FBI took over the investigation, and all of a sudden, the Pinellas County bomb squad doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. They're a bunch of amateurs, don't you know? Because the FBI and the ATF determined that the nail-packed pipe bomb that Sheriff Bob Gualtieri said was very destructive and could have hurt a lot of people was nothing more than a harmless novelty smoke device. And they let him go. Interesting thing about old Garrett James Smith, a couple of weeks earlier, he'd applied to change his name to Jordan Hanna. Guess he's a transgender incel of some kind. And check this out. When he was booked into the Pinellas County Jail, he gave his birth date as January 6th. Bob Gualtieri, the sheriff of Pinellas County, also said that Smith has no social media that they can find. What 22-year-old do you know that has no social media whatsoever? This kid was a total creation of the FBI. So they don't want this information out. These people are violent, they're dangerous, and this retired law enforcement professional is going to tell you all about how Congressman Bentivolio attempted to get him to get a group of cops together to arrest a political opponent during a debate, take him home, and let him go. The reason for this, the whistleblower says, is because Kerry's told him the only thing that people are going to remember is that this man was arrested during a debate. That's kidnapping, kids. So, we're going to get to this interview in just a moment, but I would like to remind everybody that I am pretty much banned from the internet. I'm surprised that this YouTube channel is still up. I really am. Anytime I send an email mentioning January 6th, it does not get where it's going. I've been attaching read receipts to all of my emails, and I'm not getting any joy anywhere. So I am depending on you. This country is depending on you. President Trump is depending on you to share this information everywhere. Don't just do it once on your Facebook timeline or whatever. Share it in every group that you belong to. Share it on every web page that you go to. Share it in every forum that you frequent. And then do it again. Then get your friends to do it, and then get them to do it again. Okay, we can't give up. We have to keep the pressure on these people so that this video that I recorded of 2 federal agents attacking the Capitol does not go down the memory hole and is forgotten. Can't allow that to happen. I've got them by the balls. I need your help to squeeze them. Put them in their place. Put them in prison where they belong. Will you help me do that, please? Thank you very much. And don't forget, if you have the ability, go to givesendgo.com/Bobby Powell and throw me whatever won't put you out. I have gone through all of the money from the sale of my house at about $100 a tank of gas, and with a truck that's pulling my home, my fifth wheel, from place to place. I'm getting like 8 miles to gallon. Okay, so now at this point, all I've got is my Social Security income. There are going to be no more thumb drives, no more postage. Just can't afford it without your help. I will not stop until they kill me. You can take that to the bank. So whatever I can do going forward, is going to have to be paid for by you guys. It's going to have to be financed by patriots like you. Okay, now I will be back in 2 minutes with a man that has been a law enforcement professional for over 20 years, who says that he will testify under oath that Congressman Kerry Bentivolio tried to get him into a scheme to kidnap a political opponent. You stay right there.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell. Retailers, shopping channels, and now even banks have tried canceling myself and MyPillow. Well, during these times, your support has meant everything to us. My employees and I want to personally thank each and every one of you by passing the savings directly onto you. For a limited time, you can get my brand new product, My Slippers, for 50% off. That's the lowest price ever. And remember, My Slippers come with an exclusive 4-layer design. These layers combine to give you amazing comfort and support and help reduce stress on your feet. And with the durable indoor-outdoor sole, you can wear My Slippers anytime, anywhere. I personally guarantee these will be the most comfortable slippers you'll ever own. So go to MyPillow.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to get My Slippers for 50% off, the lowest price in history. And if you do it right now, I'm going to include a free gift with your purchase. Thank you and God bless.
And I don't want no one to cry, but tell them if I don't survive, I was born free. I was born free. I was born free. Born free.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Like an untamed stallion, if you can see my heart, you might be blind. You can knock me down and watch me bleed, but you can't keep no chains on me. I was born free. I was born free.
On the phone with me now is a man that has been a law enforcement professional in the state of Michigan for over 20 years, a retired peace officer, a man of honor that saw my show that described how Congressman Kerry Bentivolio had offered me $200,000 and to lose my footage that I recorded in Washington, D.C., showing 2 federal agents attacking the building, and then threatened my life when I told him to go jump in a lake. And he says that he has a similar experience with Congressman Bentivolio, and we're going to hear about that right now. Welcome to The Truth is Viral, and as we said before the show, I'm going to alter your voice so that nobody knows exactly who you are until and unless the time comes for you to actually testify something that you said that you will do. So, as I said, thank you for coming on The Truth is Viral. And tell me, please, tell my audience, all my viewers and listeners, exactly what happened when Kerry Bentivolio tried to rope you into a scheme to kidnap a political opponent.
Yes, Bobby. I was contacted by former Congressman Bentivolio, and he requested a meeting with me to meet with him, and he would not discuss it over the telephone. So I met with him in person at Coney Island here in Michigan, and I'll never forget the night because it was snowing to beat the band, and I was kind of surprised he wanted to have this meeting, in the middle of a pretty major snowstorm, but I went ahead and I met with him, and he was basically treating me to dinner, and he proceeded to tell me how he was trying to find some law enforcement officers or retired law enforcement officers to come up with an old police car. And, this group, we could it may or may not have some military or former military people involved, but he wanted me to put this group together for him, and he was telling me about all the benefit that it may entail, such as political benefits later on. There wouldn't be any pay, but there could be some huge benefits down the road politically to, help people who were involved in this plan that he had. And he wanted me to go out and recruit these law enforcement officers. And what we would do is we would show up, for example, and they may do more than just this one mission. They may go out and the example he gave me is you might show up at a debate where candidates are debating on a stage in front of a lot of people, and you would actually go in and arrest this person on a warrant that didn't exist and put them in handcuffs right in front of the whole crowd and everybody off the stage, take this guy right out of the middle of the debate, put him in the car, and then drive him home and kick him out of the car. Well, that's kidnapping. So anyhow, I had told another friend of mine that's rather politically involved what had happened, and this friend had told me, don't do it. Just leave it alone and forget this ever happened, pretty much. And I thought about it because I was seriously thinking of going to the FBI because I have some connections at the federal level that could get me to their political corruptions unit, And I ended up not doing it. Now, looking back on things, I'm so glad that I didn't do it because I see what's happening to people now is they're coming forward and telling the truth. They're the ones that are being demonized and, charged criminally. So I left it alone, and I'm glad that I left.
Okay, so if I know anything at all about the law, we've got kidnapping, false imprisonment, false arrest. These are all felonies. And you say that you're willing to testify to this in a court of law. So God bless you, and thank you for your courage, your bravery, and for contacting me after you saw my show, because I knew that I wasn't the only person that has had an experience like this. Somebody that will do something like this once will do it again.
When I saw your story, I'm like, holy crap, I got to get a hold of Bobby and let him know, and I hadn't. It was kind of funny because I was speaking to another person that's rather politically engaged and telling them, and they're like, well, didn't you watch the Bobby Powell video? And I had, but I think I had something else going on. I hadn't paid full attention. And then I went back and watched it. It's like, holy crap, this is what happened. What happened to me is what happened to Bobby, essentially. Mine's a little bit different. He didn't threaten my life if I had helped him commit this criminal act, but, the stuff you see in movies, this guy has always had a real good reputation, and he's always been thought of as a man with integrity, and it's kind of disturbing when you find out this isn't the only incident. My incident's not the only incident. There's also, I'm talking about your incident and my incident. If there's two of us that have had this happen at different times, there's got to be more, but I don't know of any specifically, but it would lead me to believe that there's more with what happened.
So if anybody watching this show or listening to it on the radio has also had a similar experience with Congressman Bentivolio, please give me a call or send me an email. The address that I'm using right now is ttiv2013@gmail.com. So if you have any experience with Congressman Bentivolio trying to get you to do something that was illegal or unethical, immoral, or otherwise bogus, let me know about it. And we'll bring you on The Truth is Viral. But understand this, I will vet your story just as I've vetted this one. I know who this man is. And I know that he's not joking. So I'm going to make sure that you also are a serious person and are telling the truth before I put you on this show. Because the one thing that you can count on when you're watching The Truth is Viral is to hear the truth. Thank you for agreeing to come on the show, and I'll talk at you later. Folks, I'll be back with the next segment. My interview with Stu Peters in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, CEO of MyPillow. Cancel culture has not only affected myself and MyPillow, but also millions of you out there. My employees and I want to personally thank each and every one of you for all your support. At MyPillow, we have hundreds of products now, including my new slippers, bathrobes, sleepwear, and my new beds. We are offering the best products ever for the best prices ever. For example, we have the standard size MyPillows, regularly $69.98, now only $19.98 with your promo code. Or you can get custom fit with my premium queen size MyPillows, regularly $79.98, now just $29.98. Or my king size, regularly $89.98, now just $34.98. So go to MyPillow.com now and use the promo code on your screen or call the 1-800 number below to receive these exclusive offers. Thank you and God bless.
Now, I'm standing here today telling you God's truth, speaking in the name of and with the authority of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because I am telling you the truth. It was the FBI and not Trump supporters who led the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th.
Okay, so I'm not going to play the Stu Peters because I played it earlier while I was waiting for that last segment to render. But check it out. Look at what Mike Lindell sent me. Slippers. These things are awesome. I'm not kidding you. They're a little hot for Florida. I mean, they will really keep your tootsies warm, seriously. But yeah, don't wear them during the summertime in Florida. But wintertime anywhere else in the nation, man, these things are going to keep your tootsies really warm. And they got nice thick soles. I could go running in these if I wanted to really sweat my feet off. So, yeah, that's it, I guess, for tonight, kids. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make that interview with the police officer, the whistleblower, who says that Congressman Bentivolio tried to get him roped into a scheme to kidnap a political opponent. I'm going to upload that separately after the show is over, and I'd like you to come back to the channel, find it, and share that. And last night I uploaded a short music video that updated my search for these two guys, who are probably dead, actually, if you want to know the truth. The government thinks nothing of terminating an asset once they have fulfilled their usefulness. So, you know, we've seen this how many times? so many times that it just makes you sick. And got one more little announcement. I just got an email from Jeremy Brown's attorney. And he says that, I'm going to have an interview with Jeremy Brown, the Green Beret, who was arrested after he refused to spy for the FBI on the Oath Keepers organization. They didn't have any problem with leaving him out and about and doing whatever he wanted to do because of his participation in January 6th until he told the FBI that he would not snitch for them. And then they arrested him. They charged him with trespassing. He's been in the Pinellas County jail now since the end of September for trespassing. All of these January 6th defendants the government is trying to scare them with felony convictions and sentences of 20, 30 years. Well, it's not going to work. It's not going to work in Jeremy Brown's case, and it's not going to work in my case. You'll see this new Ministry of Truth, Nina Jankowicz, this crazy woman. Oh, man, she is quite literally insane. So they think that they're going to weaponize the Department of Homeland Security to take away our First Amendment rights. Good luck with that. I've had 4 heart attacks since January 6th. Last one nearly killed me. I'm going to die soon from one thing or another, and I don't care. Because when I do, they're going to lay my body down, and I will still be under oath as a United States Marine. I'll just be horizontal in a smart military fashion, standing at attention until our Father calls me home. So go ahead, try to scare me, try to blow me up, try to intimidate me into keeping my mouth shut. It's not going to work. You people may have lost your honor. Maybe you never had it to begin with, but I know the meaning of it. I feel it in my bones. It's a part of who I am. You're not going to shut me up. You're not going to intimidate me. And anybody that tries to is going to pay a heavy price. I guarantee you that. I can't think of a better way to get to Valhalla than on a pile of hot brass surrounded by the bodies of my enemies. If I happen to have a heart attack, well, my last act on this earth will be throwing a juice box at my nurse because you can't get into Valhalla unless you die in combat, right? So thank you for watching The Truth is Viral Live. Don't forget to come back and you share all the shows. Go to my Substack and subscribe to that. Subscribe to my Rumble channel. And we're just going to keep on rolling, kids. Until we can't. We're going to roll until the wheels fall off. How about that? So thank you for watching The Truth is Viral. As always, God bless, Semper Fi, and hoorah. My stogie went out, but that's okay because I have matches. Have a great weekend, kids.